that with my thumb, but
All right, so now that it's 6 o'clock, we'll wait for staff to do their thing. Roll call.
All right, Matt McLean,
Here.
Bob Wilkerson,
Here.
Terry Arcieri,
Here.
Jeff Carey,
Here.
Tim Ophelia. I don't see him, and Brad Carver.
Okay, well, we have quorum. So we'll go on the next item, approval of the meeting summary from the 18th of September. Everybody had a chance to review it, I assume. Any revisions?
Nope, I'll make a motion to approve the minutes from the September 18th.
Okay, we got it, it's moved, and who's the second?
I'll second it.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
I
Opposed? Okay, it's approved. You guys have it. Next is approval of the changes to the agenda by anybody. Okay, hearing none, we need to approve that too. So all those in favor of the agenda as sent, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion passes. Agenda is approved. Okay, so does anybody have a conflict of interest on this? Anything on the agenda?
Only that might be perceived. I own property in the area. But other than that, I don't
Is
know.
it your property next door,
Well,
adjacent?
yeah, within 100 feet, 150 feet.
Hmm.
But I don't see a problem with it.
Anyone have an issue with one of our members being a somewhat adjacent property owner? In the discussion, not topic? That doesn't sound like it. You're okay. All right, next meeting is gonna be November 20th. When is Thanksgiving anyway, 20?
It's that Monday.
That works.
Monday of the week of Thanksgiving.
That gonna be an issue with anybody?
For me.
No.
No? Okay, I guess we'll just stick with the date. And next item is the committee and staff updates.
The only things, next month, that 20th.
Oh, wait a minute, forgot, we have a guest.
Oh,
Please state your name for the record.
William Harris.
Okay. And you're from,
I'm from Allen.
Okay.
I live in Layton Village.
okay, so, sorry about that.
Okay, so the November 20th meeting, we will be having another rezone. And, we will be at least starting that capital facilities, the capital improvement program portion of it. I've received some of the information. Well, if I don't get all of it in time to analyze it, we'll still analyze what we can at the November meeting as well. So, and then I just want to update you that I'll be sending out an email about the current capital facilities plan that's adopted, just pointing out some pages to look at within there for people who aren't unfamiliar with it, especially to show the correlation of what information we're going to be looking at in the November 20th meeting. And then Commerce grant for the comprehensive plan update. We're still waiting on the draft from the Department of Commerce. Things are going a little slow over there right now. So we're waiting on that. And then short-term rentals. So I've got a tentative work schedule outlined for that. And I project our first workshop on that's going to be January of this coming year.
Okay.
So, but we're gonna have a public outreach portion, which I'll update you on. We're gonna be sending out postcards, and we'll have a project website and survey to get some initial information from the public regarding short-term rentals. And then we're gonna use that information during our first workshop to kind of start analyzing the situation, so.
Yes, no, how much, paper or pages?
I'm sorry, what's that?
Any idea on how many pages on the PDF files we're
Uh,
looking at?
for which,
Just what you're gonna be sending out.
well, I'll just send the link, and then there's particular pages I want you to look at.
Okay.
Not the whole thing yet, because we're gonna be looking at the capital facilities, the element portion later on. this
I just
year.
kind of wonder how much reading we're gonna have to do.
Not a ton, it's just to get familiar, I mean,
Alright.
there's not a ton there, that's what I'm saying, so we're trying to do better there with the analysis, so I'll point those particular pages out, so it's not a lot, it's just to get an idea of how it's laid out right now,
Mhm.
so. But that's it for me.
Anybody have any questions for staff on anything?
One question, with the delay of the, draft being approved by Commerce, is that sliding us all?
I think that's kind of the situation around the state, actually, so, yeah.
Because I know, the capital facilities, we're taking a, third crack at it, and
Mhm.
so maybe a little quicker than I anticipate. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I've already done quite a bit of work on it, and so at least some of the work has been done in the information, and it's just, we're gonna start that without the consultant, that's gonna be us, so. Well,
Okay. All right, so any other business anyone wants to bring up? Okay. And let's see, do we have public comment on the topics with the mission of the planning commission? Yeah, got it. All right, in that case, let us go on to item number 3 on rezone request from John and Kimmy Rice.
Okay, so we have a request for rezone within the Allen UGA, it's for 2 parcels, for parcel 1222050580009 and for 58010. And the request is to rezone from village commercial to multifamily medium density, which is a lot of the zoning up in that area, the adjacent area. And so, like we said, John and Kenny Rice are the applicants and the owners, and they submitted a complete application on September 11th. So this request doesn't require a amendment to the future land use map. The owners, the information I was given was that the owners have a buyer that are interested in developing single family residence. They have an application submitted to the permit assistance office currently to combine the parcels. And the owners are in discussion with the county, so with the Board of County Commissioners, to acquire a small strip, that's adjacent to, I don't know if you can see it on this because it's so small. But there's a little strip that's right along this, I think it's, no, actually, this one right here, it's a 10x40 strip. That they're trying to acquire from the county as well, but they have to go through the public process for that, so we don't know the outcome of that yet.
Question, but audio, is that Mariah speaking? That's very echoey, and I don't know if any of the other remote people are having a difficult time understanding you as I am.
Having a very difficult time.
Yeah. I can hardly understand. I can understand a few words. I can understand the male that speaks in the chamber because he's louder. But I guess if it is Mariah, she appears to be farther away.
I'll try to speak louder, okay?
Is that the one, Mike?
That's a
Okay.
little bit better, but
Can you hear me
yeah,
now?
I could not understand much of what you said about
I'll try.
so,
Okay, so the rezone was analyzed according to the 8 rezone criteria within the code, and staff believes that it's met all 7, with the 8th not being applicable. Staff did not require us to keep a non-project checklist for the proposal based on the finding it exempts per WAC 197.11.806E. And then all property owners within 300 feet of the subject parcel were notified by mail on September 14th. In addition, the notice was in the Mason County Newton Shelton Journal on October 5th and 12th, and posted on site on September 19th. Staff has not received any public comment on the proposal, and staff is recommending that the Planning Advisory Commission make a recommendation of approval to the Board of County Commissioners. And so we can take a look at the location here, vicinity map, and then street view map is here as well, and that parcel, those parcels would be up here on the hill over in this direction where it's still treed. So, and then your zoning map, you can see all this area that is in village commercial. We have the zoning outlined here, village commercial, and then that multifamily medium density residential to the west. And then in the staff report, I also indicated that to the south here, there's several developed parcels that have been developed for quite a while with residential development. And they've been existing there for quite a long time, as the staff report indicated. But other than that, if the planning commission has any questions that I can answer.
Okay,
you asked for questions?
Yes, ask questions.
I'm in the process of looking at trying to call up the GAS site so I can see it better. Is the green box is 9 or 10, and then is the other parcel is adjacent to the green box, or are both 9 and 10 parcel in that green box?
No, so this
Oh,
one,
okay, the
Why
brown,
not?
I didn't see the brownish colored box, so
yeah.
the big brown box is parcel 9 and green is 10, or vice, and
Parcel with them.
Yes.
You have
okay,
you have a different printout than I do.
now for the
he's our subject matter expert on this issue.
excuse me.
Jeff says yes.
Jeff says yes, and
100 feet away.
Okay. So now
yeah,
I haven't looked at maybe I should have looked at R2 to see what R2 density is. It says medium family. Does that mean they can be quadplex, or they can put they can put a quadplex, 4 families, four dwellings?
So if you look on the staff report sheet, it should have the type of housing that's allowed on there.
And that's the AFA 20, the attached document, okay.
Yes.
you want me to speak to it? I have,
So,
Brad, are you satisfied with your questions?
so Brad, it's single family dwellings, duplexes, triplexes, and multifamily.
I mean, it's, I'm trying to see, I really don't want quad multifamily. You know, that House Bill, State House Bill 1110, I believe it is, that's trying to increase the density. And I'm wholly against that. So I would have to, I would have to vote no on that.
It's zoned village commercial right now, so
Yes, so this is, I'm gonna mention, this is actually a down zone,
yeah.
A what zone?
down zone. So it's, the current zoning is a higher density, higher level zoning than the medium, the medium density zoning that they're applying for.
Okay, so then,
And you have to remember, this is in the urban growth area. This is not in the rural lands. So this is where your growth is supposed to occur.
this is where what is supposed to occur?
The
Where
growth,
growth is supposed to occur.
Growth,
Yes,
GROWTH.
correct. This is where they're supposed to put the multi-family dwellings as opposed to rural Mason County. That's why they call it urban growth.
Yeah, well. Yeah,
Okay, who wanted to speak to
Well,
this?
village commercial sounds like to me like a shopping area or some kind of services facility. So they're actually downgrading by going to multifamily.
okay,
This is Jeff Carey. I was involved when this zoning was created back in 2004. When the county was updating comprehensive plans and assigning zoning to the Allen urban growth area. The R2 definition is a word, it's not really a definition. The issue there was that was a bunch of plat lots that were roughly 10 dwellings per acre. And so we left it as 10 dwelling per acre because people had individual lots, multiple lots and what have you. Then closer to the Highway 3, the intent, although it has not occurred this way, but the intent back then was to allow for commercial development closer to along the highway. And there was already some there, but like that's mentioned in this report, there is actually no commercial development in this block, this series of lots within this block, within the plat of Allen. So
Is there public sewer there or is that all septic area?
there's public sewer about 500 feet one way and about 250 feet the other way and down over the hill the other way. So
Oh.
it's kind of probably if they get access, it would probably be the 500-foot route because that goes, well, there's a developer extending sewer or planning to extend sewer in there. So down what's known as Sullivan Street, which is about exactly 160 feet away from the back end of their lot or lots. So it's not that far when that happens. But at this moment, the only other way for sewer to come in there is a gravity or a grinder force main, and you'd have to go across private property and get easements. And parcel sits on a bluff above the highway. So I mean, literally you look out and it just drops down to the highway.
They got a great view of the bay, right?
Yeah, right over the park. So anyway, does that kind of explain a little bit the?
Well, to me, you know, as a former septic designer, if they were to go in septic, it would limit the amount of density they could put in there because they'd have to put septic and a reserve drain field. But if it has sewer, then it doesn't limit much. So that's why I asked that question.
Right, my inquiries with regards to my parcel, which is to the west of theirs, is that we would have to bring in the sewer. They would not allow septic.
Okay.
To the extent of latecomers, meaning that if the developer did not develop and I chose to develop, I would have to run roughly 500 feet through the other, not the other way, but kitty corner. And then people that would come on later would be latecomer fees attached to that later on.
That makes sense.
But I did ask, with regards to my property and my dad's property, that, what the requirement would be, and the indication was that they would want it sewered. And that you'd have to pay the bill to bring it in there. And then get it back over time with latecomer fees.
Yeah, we just saw an IM from somebody.
That is actually the representative, so. we can see what one talking about.
Well, actually, we have a community member here. Would you like to chime in? No?
No, I'm here to just observe, learn, and maybe participate at some point. It is interesting. I don't live all that far away. I live up in Lakeland, so it's, at least I recognize the map.
Okay.
Yeah. No,
Well, I mean,
but
it's.
thank you for the offer, Ben.
Oh, yeah, no.
I enjoy the conversation and I'm enjoying the discussion and questions back and forth. There's some great questions.
We get into the weeds.
You need to keep it clean.
Yep. Okay, well, does anyone want to bring up any other things or continue the discussion?
No, I mean, I've looked at,
Actually, I,
in the planning, I've looked at
Mhm.
the, the regs we had.
Mhm.
I actually had these zones myself personally. All the criteria then, now, then. Like I said, the intent was to have commercial there, but it doesn't make, it's not making sense. And that's one reason, several years ago, I rezoned some other because commercially, I could not bring development up in there, so we couldn't sell the property.
Right, especially if you have to pay for 500 feet up sewer.
Well, you have to do that either way, but the commercial was even more requirements.
Right.
Yes, yeah.
And it's on a
Okay.
slope.
Go ahead, Terry.
I said, and it's sloped, so.
Oh, yeah. It's sloped.
Mhm. Okay, well, it sounds like we pretty well discussed this one. So if anyone wants
Can
to
you-
bring something
can-
up,
Can you hear me?
who's this now?
My name is Robert Cook.
Okay, go ahead, Robert.
I am the realtor who represents the owners. They are John and Kim Rice. They own the two parcels that are being proposed for rezone and also for being combined. And I've been contacted by an agent who has a buyer who simply wants to buy the combined parcels and build a residence on it, similar to the residence that is right next door to the south. And then the two parcels continuing on to the south also have, in my belief, single family homes. And the parcel is fairly level. The two proposed rezone parcels, that first photo showing the three-dimensional bird's eye view shows that it ends as about a 15-foot drop off or bluff on the State Route 3 side of the property. So there's really no possibility of commercial access to State Route 3. Plus, it's right at the busiest part of that, where the Y goes, at the south end of Allen, where State Route 3 goes up the hill, and then I think it's 302 continues around North Bay. And anyway, they've looked into it, and they already have found out that it won't be that expensive to connect to the sewer that is being used by the residents to the south. And power is right there within reasonable distance. And I believe there's a well that not a well, but a public water system that is up the hill that has been established for all the developments up on the hill, where all those small lots and homes are being built that are straight up just a block or two up the hill. So I just wanted the commissioners or the committee to know all this information.
Okay, well, thank you, Robert.
You're welcome.
I can address a couple of those points that were brought up. Water there is much the same as sewer, meaning it's 400 feet plus 100 some feet away. You know, so all the rest of the points that were made. It's like I said, it was a decision looked at years ago. You know, and it's problematic. You have housing residential to the west, you have southwest, south, what have you. So.
Well, except the adjacent property, it's at 18513 East State Route 3. It's the home that's right to the south of these two parcels that are going to be combined as one parcel.
Right.
It has sewer and it has a grinder pump. And I'm told that, my clients were told that they could hook into that. They might need their own grinder pump, or they might be able to hook into that grinder pump of the neighbors that to his sewer line.
I'm very familiar with this whole process because I worked with the developer up in the upper part of the plat because I do road maintenance work up in there. They will have to get if they do a grinder, they will have to get their own grinder. The county does not merge them.
Okay.
The other issue is that they would have to get an easement from, I believe it's Renee Floyd, it's south of this property. She would have to give it an easement to go across. They've done that further south, but I'm not, I don't know whether they would or not that. But long-term, the developers coming down Sullivan on the backside here, this light, the area between the blue and the bay, light brown, whatever, is coming right up through there. So he's like 100, 120, 30, about 140 to 50 feet away.
So it's doable.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so we talked this through, and anyone have any last parting questions? Comments, concerns? Hearing none, staff has recommended approval. So we'll take it to a vote. All those in favor of.
You want to make it as a motion first?
Need a motion.
Right. All right.
I'll make a motion to approve it.
Fine with me.
I'll make the motion to approve the request for rezoning of these two parcels from village commercial to what is designated as R2, which is residential multifamily.
I'll second that.
And Max
Repeat
seconded.
that, repeat the motion again, please. I couldn't understand it.
Okay, I would make a motion to accept the staff's report to rezone the two parcels that are called out here, the two numbers, to rezone it from village commercial to the designation R2, which is residential multifamily. And I guess that's it, my motion.
Okay, motion has been moved. Is there a second, Mac?
Yes, I'll second it.
It's
I
moved
would
and seconded.
I would like to modify the motion to say if, as Mr. Cook said, they were going to build I thought Mr. Cook said the prospective buyer was going to only build a single family home on that property. And I would say put a caveat, modify the motion to say, yes, provided it is a single family dwelling. I really don't want multifamily dwellings on it.
Brad, here's the problem with that I know about. Maybe I'm off in left field. But we're approving it to a zoning, so if we approve it to zoning, whatever permissible in that zoning would be allowed.
Okay.
So, and we're doing
Okay,
it
I guess
down.
my ignorance.
I'm sorry,
My ignorance then, yes, so
no problem.
okay. We
Just
can't
as an
modify.
aside
Okay,
too, I think we should always be cognizant of the fact that we are making recommendations based on the existing zoning and regulations that are in place. we also have opportunities when those things come up for review to make our more generic recommendations for what to be in place for the county. So some of these things that people may have strong feelings on, it may not be appropriate to comment on an individual project, but it may be appropriate for the planning commission to weigh in when we're looking at the broad brush with how the county is going to approach the different zoning classifications.
There'll be plenty of opportunity of people to discuss this after we have a vote.
Well, and to that point, Mac, it's been my contention for a long time, even when I did this rezone back 3 years ago of a different part of the plat, that the plat needs to be reevaluated, especially where we have village, where you have commercial and where you have residential, because Allen has not developed, you know, near to the commercial what we thought, and the environment of commercial development has totally changed over the last 15, 25 years.
Absolutely, and there's no disagreement with that. All my comment was only addressing that it's not necessarily within our purview to tweak the definition of each zoning classification, parcel by parcel by parcel.
Right.
That should be reserved for when we are taking up the broader issue within the planning and zoning ordinance itself.
Now, we do have a motion on the floor that's been moved and seconded,
Yeah, it needs to be voted on.
and so can we vote?
Yep.
All right, so all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
I,
All
Aye.
those opposed? All right, so the motion has been approved.
Thank you very much, gentlemen.
Mhm.
and
Thank you,
ladies,
Mr. Cook. And so I think that's about the end of it, right?
Yes, that's all we have for tonight.
All right, so if there's no parting comments and questions, etc., I will entertain a motion to adjourn. Jeff?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Okay, Terry, you seconded it, right?
Yep, I seconded it.
Okay, good. It's been moved and seconded. All those in favor of adjourning, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
All right, guys, we're done for another month.